underground runs parallel with this bridge, taking commuters from the south side of London over to the north side. But ladies and gentlemen, there's 2 footbridges either side called the Jubilee Bridges. We're going to have a bit of audience participation. Now we're going to ask the captain to sound this horn, and if we get the attention of anybody on the bridge, we'll start to give them a wave. Hopefully we get a wave back. As it were, lovely, there's a few hands, there's a few more. But ladies and gentlemen, keep waving, because this is for our safety. If we can see the hands waving back, it normally means they're not going to throw anything at us. Ladies and gentlemen, if they wave back, it means you're on holiday. If they don't wave back, it just means they're from London and they're people up there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, once we are clear of the railway bridge, on the right hand side you're going to see Royal Festival Hall, and I know it's not much to look at, but that is a world famous concert hall, and it has world famous acoustics inside. Many greats have performed here over the years, just to name a few. Michael Jackson, who has sadly passed away, Whitney Houston, who has sadly passed away, Frank Sinatra, who has also sadly passed away. We're now just waiting for the Justin Bieber concert. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joking, we love him really. Is it too late to say I'm sorry? On the left, you're going to see a stone obelisk over there, also known as Cleopatra's Needle, and that is over 3,000 years old. It's older than London itself. But that is a present from Egypt as we helped them win the battle of Troy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this next bridge is called the Mississippi Road Bridge, and this is actually the longest road bridge to span the River Thames here in London. And we like to call it the Ladies' Bridge. And the story, this bridge was predominantly built by the ladies who were left behind during the wartime. This bridge is built out of an expensive Portland stone. Trust the ladies to beat the expensive stone. But this stone is self-cleaning, so when it rains, the face of the bridge cleans with the rainwater. And now we're underneath, you can see the dirty underside where the rainwater does not reach. This bridge was the only bridge to be built on time and under budget, so well done to the ladies. On the right hand side now you see a concrete building there with an illuminated walls. This is actually our National Theatre here in London. I know it doesn't look like much, but that's why they say don't judge a book by its cover. As there's 3 outstanding theatres inside that building, the largest being the Olympic Theatre. However, we do get a lot of feedback from guests saying it looks like it's actually our National Theatre here in London. The largest theatre inside that building is the Olivier Theatre. Now ladies and gentlemen, slightly ahead of the boat on the left, just to view for everybody, you're going to see a black and white barge over here called the St Catherine. And this is the old royal barge. So if the King or Queen was ever visiting London and going on the River Thames, they would have went on that barge. But in recent years they have a much newer, nicer, fancier one called the Gloriana. So if King Charles, Prince William or Kate are ever visiting London, they go on a much newer, fancier one. But if Harry and Meghan are visiting, we just put on that one over there. It's the old spell. Ladies and gentlemen, also here on the left, you're going to see the White Wellington. This is an old New Zealand naval ship. But in recent years, this is now a drinking club for master mariners. And if you're not sure what a master mariner is, that's a captain that's worked on this river or at sea for 25 plus years. And the head of this club is actually King Charles himself. So in the evening times, often see him there at the front stumbling around. He likes to stand at the very front. He's normally there with Camilla, and they like to reenact that scene from the Titanic. But just behind the Wellington there, you're going to see a stone arch with a face of old Father Thames on it. And this arch actually marks the boundary point. We've now left behind the city of Westminster and we've entered the city of London. Like I say, that arch marks the boundary point. Over to the right hand side, you're going to see a red brick building here and a tower with windows that spell out Oxo. A little fact for you now, it's illegal to advertise on the banks of the River Thames. You're going to see no McDonald's signs or no Starbucks signs, and that's because this is the King's Royal Highway. But you would be right in thinking Oxo, that's Oxo to stop you. When the building owners were confronted about this, they said purely coincidence that their windows spell out the name of their product. They was actually taken to court for this situation, but they won the court case and they've had free advertising on the River Thames ever since. Ladies and gentlemen, staying on the right hand side, slightly ahead of the boat now, you're going to see this newly developed skyscraper here, and this is called number 1 Blackfriars. But many people here in London are actually calling that the Kim Kardashian building. I'm not sure why. I think it's to do with the curve. But now, ladies and gentlemen, over to the left-hand side, you're going to see a stone building here with a sloped green roof. And this is actually the old City of London School for Boys. Although it's the old school, many greats have been to this school over the years. And there's actually 4 statues of great students that have been to this school just underneath that green roof. I'm going to name these students now left to right. That first one we can see up there is Francis Bacon. That second one is William Shakespeare. That third one is Isaac Newton. And then that fourth, David Beckham never went to school. Ladies and gentlemen, next bridge is in front of us are the Blackfriars Bridge. This first one is going to be Blackfriars Road Bridge. And they say with the road bridge, it's this point of the River Thames where the river water meets the sea water. So as we approach the next bridge, both sides of the boat, on the stone columns there, at the very top of the stone columns, you're going to see in that river into the stone. Let's say both sides of the boat, you can see the inland river birds carved into the stone columns. On the lower side of the bridge, carved into the columns, there's seagoing birds. So we have inland river birds. Ladies and gentlemen, I remember it's for our safety, so give them away if you lose here. But ladies and gentlemen, now on the lower side, you see the seagoing birds carved into the columns. And like I say, that's just to represent this part of the River Thames where they say the river water meets the sea water. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Blackfriars Railway Bridge, but once we're clear of the railway bridge, very shortly on the left-hand side, you're going to start to see the diamond cross of St Paul's Cathedral. And St Paul's Cathedral has the second largest freestanding dome in the world. And that's second to Peter's in the Vatican City of Rome. And St Paul's is 365 foot tall, nice easy number to remember. 1 foot for every day of the year. And St Paul's is actually open 7 days a week. But a little tip for you, ladies and gentlemen, it's free to enter on a Sunday. And that's because it's a functioning church. They have a church service in there on a Sunday. It's a lovely little tip for you there. It's free to enter on a Sunday. You can climb the 500 stairs to the top of the dome. They have a viewing platform at the very top. And they say the views are better from St Paul's than they are from the London Eye. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just there on the left, you see that red brick building, and this is the new City of London School for Boys. Although it's the new school, again, many greats have been to this school over the years. Just to name a few politicians and actors, Boris Johnson, and also Daniel Radcliffe, better known as Harry Potter. But if you see the price of that school, if you see how much it costs, you'd also want your child to leave with magic powers. On the right-hand side now, you're going to see the old Bankside Power Station. But in recent years, this is now a modern art gallery. It's called the Tate Modern. And as the words say at the top, Tate Modern, free and open to all. So it's actually free to enter. So if you're into modern art, it's well worth a visit. If you're not into modern art, you'll quickly realise why it's free to enter. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on the right, you're going to see a white circular building here with a brown windows and a thatched roof, the Tudor-style building. This is the Globe Theatre, also known as Shakespeare's Globe. This is where Shakespeare would have performed many of his plays like Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth, The Tempest, just to name a few. And even in summer months, you can still catch live performances of these plays in that theatre. It costs just £5 to enter. And can I say £5 in London is great value for live entertainment. It's also the only building here in London with a thatched roof. And that's because after the Great Fire in London in the year 1666, it then became illegal for any other building to have a thatched roof other than Shakespeare's Globe. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this next bridge in front of us, this is Suffolk Road Bridge, but this is known in London as London's Quiet Bridge. And this is for vehicles and pedestrians. And it's just because of the maze of roads that lead to this bridge, it can be a bit confusing to find. So it's only normally used by professional drivers like bus drivers, taxi drivers, and Prius drivers. So as we approach this next bridge, if you see anyone up there, give them a wave. They're probably lost. As well as being London's least used bridge, let's say Suffolk Road Bridge is actually London's least used bridge. When we pass underneath it, you can actually see it's the narrowest bridge here in London as well. Let's say Suffolk Road Bridge is London's least used bridge. But once we clear the road bridge, maybe the most important building I'm going to show you today, going to be on the right-hand side, just before the next bridge. You'll see a brown brick building over here with the red windows, and this is the Anchor Pub. And it's the oldest pub here in London. There's been a pub on that site for more than 400 years. And it's also rumoured that Shakespeare used the attic of this pub as a dressing room with his nearby Shakespeare's Theatre. Many celebrities visit this pub, and the captain often go here after work. But we go here after work to do research. Research about the River Thames to tell you lovely ladies and gentlemen more facts about it. It can be very thirsty work, and sometimes we spend so long in that pub we forget all the research we've done, and we have to go back the next day just to do it all again. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is not the prettiest bridge here in London, however, it's the oldest railway bridge. It's Cannon Railway Street, built in the year 1866, the oldest railway bridge here on the River Thames. But now, ladies and gentlemen, sliding ahead of the boat on the left, just above the stone buildings there, you're going to see a monument with a golden candle on it. And that golden candle actually marks the spot of the bakery where the Great Fire of London started. So like I say, the golden candle over there, it pinpoints the location of the bakery where the Great Fire of London started in the year 1666. I actually had somebody ask me the other day if the bakery's still over there. It's not. Ladies and gentlemen, the next bridge in front of us is in London Bridge, not to be confused with Tower Bridge, it's in London Bridge. And this is the oldest bridge here on the River Thames. Not this one, there's been 5 bridges here over the years. First one was built by the Romans more than 2,000 years ago. But over the years they've fallen down, they've burnt down, and they've been pulled down. The previous one was sinking into the mud, so it was sold to an American businessman. Everybody thinks he thought it ran Tower Bridge, but he didn't, he bought the old London Bridge. That can now be found in the Arizona desert, Spanish part of Lake Amazon. Ladies and gentlemen, on the right, you're going to see the Shard of Glass. This is Europe's tallest building, and if you're brave enough to go up to the 70th floor, they have a viewing platform up there. And on a clear day, you can see up to 50 miles away. They also have many award-winning restaurants on the top floor. And if you're here in London looking for property, they have a few penthouses based on the very top. One of them recently sold to the singer-songwriter will.i.am for the price tag of £30 million. But ladies and gentlemen, also here on the right, you're going to see London Bridge Hospital. And this is London's most private, most expensive hospital. And they actually deal with two things inside that building. That's broken bones and heart attacks. You go in there with a broken bone, then they give you the bill, then you have the heart attack. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to go to the top of the Shard to view impact, it's going to cost you about £40-45. But over here on the left-hand side, you're going to see the skyscraper there. And unlike the Shard, this building has a free viewing platform, just up there on the very top floor, just below the cranes. And this is called the Sky Garden. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are interested in this, search the Sky Garden on your phone, your best to book in advance. But that's a lovely little tip for you there. That building has a free viewing platform if you want to enjoy. It's called the Sky Garden if you are interested. Ladies and gentlemen, this yellow brick building on the left with the lead roof and the fish has weather vanes. That's the old fish market, that's Billingsgate Fish Market. There's been a fish market on that site for 1,000 years. Now ladies and gentlemen, over to the right. Not sure if you can see it because it's recently had a new cover camouflage. But you may be able to see the vessel C-35 or code name C-35, also known as the HMS Belfast. It's a great naval ship of ours. It's one of the first ships that fired guns on D-Day. It's now a floating museum. It's well worth a visit if you have a couple of hours spare in London. You can explore the many decks of that ship, 9 decks in total. Like I say, lots of history on board. This ship was also built in the same shipyard as the ill-fated Titanic. And that's the shipyard of Harland of War. That's in Belfast, Ireland. Ladies and gentlemen, right now see the bridge directly in front of us is Tower Bridge, but no need to stand up or rush forward. The captain just told me he's in a good mood, and he's going to take us closer to the bridge, and then he's going to turn the boat sideways. And this gives everybody a lovely photo opportunity at Tower Bridge right in the River Thames. So that's saying no need to stand up or rush forward. The captain's going to take us right close to the bridge, so we can all get that perfect photograph. And Tower Bridge was built in the year 1894. It was built in the Gothic style to blend it with its name, the Tower of London. And the centre bascles of Tower Bridge actually lift to allow larger ships into London. And this bridge will lift 364 days a year. There's just one day a year it will not lift. And that's the day of the London Marathon. And that's because this bridge marks the halfway point for the 40,000 runners that run across it. But me personally, I think it made the race a little bit more interesting if they did lift on this day. Especially for us sitting indoors watching on telly. But ladies and gentlemen, as promised, we're now turning the boat round, and as we do so, this is going to give everybody a lovely photo opportunity on Tower Bridge right here from the River Thames. Any place in London will try and sell this photo on a postcard for £5. You lovely ladies and gentlemen can now get this photo for free.
Orang ini nanti mutar ya dia.
And ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, there's a red double-decker bus just about to pass over the bridge. If you can capture that bus in the middle of the bridge, that's a very iconic photo of London. Many places will try and sell you that on a poster, on a canvas, on a calendar. And say, lovely ladies and gentlemen, now get this photo for free. If you can capture that bus in the middle of the bridge like it is now.
Iya, bapak sini bapak. Udah. Ayo, foto mas.
Ladies and gentlemen, once everybody has got that perfect photograph, if I can just ask everyone to return to their seats. As we turn the boat round completely, on the right-hand side, you're going to see the Tower of London itself. And this was built in the year 1078 by William the Conqueror. And this has been many things over the years, a place of execution, a royal zoo. It's now mostly famous as its home to the Crown Jewels. And we do get lots of guests ask us, where's the famous bloody tower? Well, we can't bloody see it because it's behind the bloody trees. But what we can see the words on the river wall over here. It says entrance to the Traitor's Gate. And this is known in London as London's first one-way system. This is where many people have met their final demise.